You read that right. Castoncrit Forbidden Rite with Magic Find. Hey everybody, Forbidden Exile here. Welcome to a new video. So I've been trying to play some Magic Find characters. I tried some Tornado Shot, some Lightning Arrow, some Corrupting Fever, all the usual ones. And as I'm sure most of you know, Forbidden Rite is my favorite build. So I decided to try and get it to work on this character, and it works great. Honestly, as you can see here on the screen here, I've got Inventor's Gamble and Gold Worms on here. The enchant is very important, but we'll go over that in a second. So as usual, we'll quickly go over the gear, the gems, the skill tree, and then we'll go over to Path of Building just so you can kind of see where the damage is at in the defense. But it's pretty sweet. Not much has really changed as far as the Castoncrit Forbidden Rite build that I've made multiple guides on over the past few leagues. This one I do have a +1 level of all skill gems, not chaos spell skill gems. It's super expensive. I'm playing on my standard account right now just because the game's pretty much dead. So you don't need this. You can still just use the regular chaos one. But if you have this one, the crafting process is exactly the same. I'll link the video up here to how to craft it. So you got spell damage, attack speed, crit chance, crit multi, and then the mana regenerate comes from the spell damage. Unveil, it's a regular Forbidden Rite fires an additional projectile, Crown of the Inward Eye, max rolled. I don't have the +1 max power charge on there. That would be nice, but I just don't feel like paying a lab runner or running lab or buying it because it doesn't really need it. The mandatory shield, Aegis Aurora, nothing changed there. Obviously the Inventor's Gamble. Try to get one with some res. Don't get negative res because you're already fighting res with Melding of the Flesh. But even if it's, 1 or 2 or 10 or something like that, I think I paid like 3 divine for this one, but it's max rolled on rarity, almost max rolled on quantity. The body armor, it's the same body armor that I've used for this build forever, really. So fractured global defense is 50%. If you're playing on standard, I think you can still get some 100% ones, but they're stupid expensive because they don't, you can't get it anymore. And then just determination has increased aura effect, and then I could get a higher increased effect of non-curse auras. I can get it up to 20%, but the build works fine how it is. I just use Deafening Essence of Loathing because you do need that increased mana reservation efficiency of skills, so you don't have to use small cluster jewels. And then if you do have an open prefix, craft on the Fizz taken as fire and lightning, and try to get res on there as well. Regular ashes with Charisma Anointed for more mana reservation efficiency and increased effect of non-curse auras. This ring, I'm going to make a separate video on how to craft this ring, but it's Despair on hit plus minimum endurance charges on kill, which helps a lot with survivability while you're mapping. And then just do it on a hunter-based eyelight ring so you can get Despair. Then do Fertile Catalyst to get it up to 15% because you don't need to go to 20% in case you didn't know that, to get the non-channeling skills to go from -7 to -8. The gloves, same gloves, +2 max cold res, increased effect of marks, attack speed, dex, and then it took me so many tries to get that +2 of socket AoE gems on there. I think it was like, I don't know, 10 or 15 divine. But it's the same gloves I've had. You don't have to go for that, it just, every little bit helps. Mageblood. A lot of people don't like builds that use Mageblood, and I guess I understand if you can't afford it as, a pretty ultimate chase item. But the higher level of this build, you have to have it. There's no way around it. I don't have the Withered enchant on there, which I would really like to get. I'll probably start trying to farm that again. I had it for a little bit, and I've moved it around to different builds. So, and then the boots. So Gold Worms themselves give you increased quantity, a little bit of fire resistance, and then crappy movement speed. But the reduced mana cost of skills if you've been hit recently is, I would say, pretty much mandatory. I tried to play it without it, and it was terrible. I couldn't sustain mana. I bought these for 1 divine yesterday. I would say try to pay a lab runner to get it for you, or just run a bunch of labs to try and get them on there, because if you just throw the Gold Worms on there, even with the reduced mana cost of skills on the flask, you're not going to be able to sustain mana. You'd have to use the claw in order to gain mana on hit. As far as flasks go, just regular diamond flask with a chance to avoid being stunned, increased effect, and then 70% increased effect. Double armor flask, the Quicksilver flask with increased effect, and the crafted reduced mana cost of skills. If you don't know how to do this yet, just unveil a bunch of Cinder Swallows, and then I'll spam it until you get increased effect, and then just craft it on there. and then a double elemental resistance bismuth flask. And as always, Dying Sun. The only thing you really care about here is the fire's two additional projectiles. For gems, it's, you know, nothing's really changed. I did throw an enhance in here because I had an empty gem socket, so I just put Wither and Step over here. But Anomalous Mark on hit, Anomalous Assassin's Mark. You can use regular Assassin's Mark, so you'll get a power charge on hit as opposed to on kill. But you know, I don't really use it for bossing, it's just mapping because it's magic fine. But if you do Anomalous Assassin's Mark with the Ashes and Enhance, you actually get 12% increased damage. On the helmets, the Castoncrit with Culling Strike, Anomalous Vengeance, and Purifying Flame. Over here you got Enlighten level 4 with Anomalous Zealotry and Tempest Shield. You don't need Anomalous Zealotry, but because you have Ashes, you know, all of the alt quality gems will give you something, as opposed to just Area of Effect, which serves no purpose. And so you get 4% increased crit multi. On the body armor for the Castoncrit, level 5 Awakened Void Manipulation, 20-23 increased critical damage. Level 6 Awakened Castoncrit. You don't really need to wait level 6 because I'm not hitting 52% cooldown. 20-20 increased critical strikes. Divergent Cyclone for a little bit more movement speed. And then just a 21-20 regular Forbidden Rite. No alt quality on that one. Over here some more auras. So we got level 4 Enlighten with Val Discipline. This is very important for Castoncrit Forbidden Rite. Your Chaos Inoculation. So as you can see down here, you have 1 life. So Val Discipline is literally your only life flask, basically. Level 21 Period of Ice. And then Anomalous Determination. You don't really need Anomalous because you'll be stun avoid just from this flask right here. So over here, Anomalous Withering Step with Flame Dash. So level 2, you just need a level 1 Precision for the Watcher's Eye mod. And then Molten Shell, Val Molten Shell. Because I have endurance charges, you can use Immortal Call. It technically makes sure Immortal Call lasts longer, but then Withering Step, you know, going back and forth between the two. I kind of prefer Molten Shell, so that way I'll have 3 endurance charges the whole time that I'm mapping. Alright, so as far as the skill tree goes, it is a little bit different than the normal Castoncrit Forbidden Rite. As you can see here, I only have 1 medium cluster jewel. The reason for that is, for one, you need strength. And then I'm also running Forbidden Flesh, Forbidden Flame down here. And then we've got Storm Shroud. So this one, modifiers to chance to avoid being shocked apply to all elemental ailments. So as long as you get 100% shock avoidance, then you're elemental ailment immune. How you do that is you get 2 Hypnotic Eye Jewels. If you're using the gold worms. If you're using crafted boots, then you can just use essences to get some shock avoidance on there. But if you buy a Hypnotic Eye Jewel with the chance to avoid being shocked implicit, use metallic fossils, and it doesn't guarantee the chance to avoid being shocked on there, but you have a really, really good chance. I think I spent about like 20 metallic fossils to get this. I was trying to get lightning res as well, so that I could switch out some of my flasks, but it didn't work out, but I got phasing, so it's nice. And then you have the other one here. This one, I don't think there's any more on trade, at least in standard. A chance to avoid being shocked, and then Corrupted Blood. The Watcher's Eye, so that's why I'm running Precision, so you gain a flash charge, so your Dying Sun is always up. And then this is also another mandatory mod that you have to have, unfortunately. The gain 28 energy shield per enemy hit while affected by Discipline. As I said, you know, you don't leech life, you leech energy shield, and you can't leech enough energy shield unless you have this. I don't use Grace, but I've had this one for a while, so I just kept it. So you take out your critical strike medium cluster jewels because you actually don't need it because of the additional critical strike chance that they added per power charge. So I have 7 power charges, so we got 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and then 1 from Forbidden Power. But you basically just come down, grab the strength node, come down here, take these 2 jewel sockets right here. My character's only level 98. And then take this one to get a little bit more strength because I needed like 39 strength, I think, in order to use Molten Shell and Determination. So, you know, kind of sucks you gotta waste those 2 points. If you want to recraft some stuff, save yourself some points, you can take this and get some more damage and attack speed. The other important thing too is this Leech Mastery. So, as I said, you leech energy shield. So spell damage leeches energy shield, and then instant leech. And you also get some spell damage leeches energy shield, and increased damage while on full energy shield, which you should pretty much always be on full energy shield, or you'll be dead. Alright, so as far as path building goes, you can see here we're doing 9.3 million damage. It's not insane damage, but it's pretty significant considering that you have two very, very good pieces of Magic Find gear on there. Hit pool is great, 646,000. It's very rare that I die in an 8 mod corrupted map, then raid strong boxes, maybe once every 3 or 4 maps, except for Detonate Dead. The Detonate Dead strong boxes kill me every single time. Way overcapped on res, spell block, and attack block chance capped. 58,000 armor, so 90% physical damage reduction. About 3,600 energy shield. I was trying to get it to like 5, but it's not working out. Other than that, I mean, as you can see here, you know, we're not anywhere near the 10.1. That would probably double our damage. You can't get to 52% cooldown recovery without using the boots. Well, I'll leave you with this map right here. Pretty rippy. Increased life, increased area effect. Reduced extra damage from critical strikes, which I'm a crit based build, so we'll see how that goes. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and if you are enjoying the content that I've been putting out, please consider subscribing because it really does help me out.
I'm ready, and not before.
Well done. Now be a good assistant and find a place to deploy a tower. Exile, build the tower as I've so kindly requested. Hello? Please do not test my limits. Patience is not something I possess great quantities of. Build the tower, Exile. Now. Those fiends are getting too close to my pump. Do not let them reach the purification pump.